When the High Court of Australia handed down the Mabo judgment last year, it set our generation of Australians a great challenge. The court's decision was unquestionably just. It rejected a lie and acknowledged the truth. The lie was terra nullius, the convenient fiction that Australia had been a land of no one. The truth was native title, the fact that the land had once belonged to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Australians, and that in some places a legal right to it had survived the 200 years of European settlement. So here was an issue the country could not ignore, either legally or morally. There was another form of title that had to become part of the way we manage land in Australia. We owe it to Aboriginal Australians, to all Australians. Indeed, we owe it to our fair and democratic traditions and to future generations to recognise native title. Tonight, we are within reach of an enlightened, practical response to Mabo. I will be proposing legislation to Parliament this week which meets both the spirit of the High Court's decision and Australia's responsibilities and needs. The bill will necessarily be complex, but this evening I want to cut through the complexity to some of its simple principles. First, we need to get the background straight. Over tens of thousands of years, Aboriginal people had developed a complex culture built on a profound attachment to the land. The land nourished them spiritually as well as materially. In the landscape and the life upon it, they saw evidence of the epoch of creation. Down through the generations, they passed on laws, customs, traditions and ceremonies reflecting an obligation to care for the land which went to the heart of their society. Yet this most remarkable fact about Australia, this oldest continuous civilisation on earth, has until now been denied by Australian law. The first European settlers declared that the land had belonged to no one, and the Indigenous Australians were shunted aside, often with appalling brutality. Much of the despair and degradation, conflict and disease, and many of the problems which Aboriginal Australians face today are a consequence of this dispossession. We have no need nor any use for guilt. This generation cannot be held responsible for the cruelty of previous generations. But to ignore Mabo would be the final cruelty, and we would be held responsible by the world and by future generations of Australians, and they'd be right to hold us responsible.